A passionate debate today, as it should be, a lot of heartfelt feelings. I think everybody kind of wants the same thing. It's just a question of how we get there. One of the things that stuck out to me is we continue to hear that minimum wage is $15,080. I had my CPA do some numbers, certainly pay him enough money, so he did some numbers for me to see what the actual buying power of somebody on minimum wage is. And I agree it's not ever nearly going to be enough, but this is the real numbers. At $7.25 an hour, a head of household with 3 children, you're right, would be $15,080. But the impact of that, there's FICA. They do pay FICA and Medicare. There's an earned income credit of $5,751. There's an additional child credit of $1,812. There's an Empire State child credit of $598. New York State earned income credit of $1,662, which is actually a buying power of $24,051. On top of that, they're probably eligible for WIC and food stamps and everything else. I'm not saying it's enough money. It's not. I get that. What I'm saying is that we need to be honest about what the real impact is here. And we're all trying to get to the same thing, which is more money in people's pockets, just we have a different philosophy of how to get them there. I believe we get them there by having successful businesses that can hire more people. Minimum wage has actually been described as maximum folly by some economists. In American Samoa, they went through this a couple years ago. There was an increase in the minimum wage that they actually put on hold, and they were asking President Obama to put a hold on that because they were suffering the effects of having minimum wage go up. And what was happening is they saw a cannery over there, Chicken of the Sea, moved its operation from Samoa to a highly automated plant in Lyons, Georgia, which resulted in 2,000 jobs lost in American Samoa, 200 job increase in Georgia. So there was a net loss there of jobs, and it hurt those people greatly. The same thing happened with another cannery. They went to automation. So to act as if this stuff happens in a bubble is economic malpractice. You can't push wages up with having some kind of cause and effect on the other side. And I have concerns about tying it to inflation. If it was just a wage increase, I'd probably vote yes on this. But to tie this into inflation, when we don't know the impact, and I don't know that the studies have been done, if we get into rampant inflation, which I believe we're about to see in Europe, especially Greece and France, if we see some runaway inflation over here, what's going to be the effect? It's some scary stuff that can happen here. It is a 17% wage increase for any businesses that are paying minimum wage. Their health care is not going to go down by 17%. Their energy costs won't go down by 17%. Their lease payments aren't going to go down by 17%. And I don't think they can wave a magic wand and increase their sales by 17%. So I just think you got to think about both sides of the issue here. You can't operate in a vacuum and say this will have no effect. It will. University of California at Irvine did a study that showed previous increases actually have resulted in higher unemployment on the lowest rungs of the ladder. So you may have unintended consequences that nobody wants. You could actually see higher unemployment the lower down the economic ladder you go. That's scary because we're all trying to get people back to work. And the other thing with higher wage mandates, when you mandate a higher wage, you're seeing this right now with college kids that are graduating that are having trouble finding jobs. They're actually competing with what we might consider lower skilled workers. These are college kids coming out of college right now, can't find a job because the economy's terrible. They're taking those minimum wage jobs and they're putting pressure on the people that might be considered lower skilled than them. So you can have some unintended consequences here that can be a real problem. San Diego State University, same thing. They did a study showing raising the minimum wage is ineffective as an anti-poverty campaign. And we can go back and forth forever and ever because I know there's competing studies that say it doesn't do that. It has the opposite effect. So I'm just saying I think we need to consider all sides of this question. My approach to things is that raising the minimum wage in a high growth, in a high unemployment and low growth environment, which is what we have right now, it's exactly the opposite of what any sane economist would recommend. So everybody's heartfelt about this. Everybody wants the same thing. We want people succeeding and working and striving to attain the minimum dream, the American dream. But to just raise their wages does not eliminate poverty, because if it did, we would have already eliminated poverty. We've raised the minimum wage numerous times. If that was going to do it, it'd be done already. If we raised it to 10 or 12 bucks, would that be the end of the story? No. You're still going to have people that are low skilled, going to struggle economically. The way to get them up the ladder is to train them, to give them more skills. And when you raise wages, you actually have less money for training programs and everything else that businesses need to grow. So I'm going to be voting no on this bill because I think it's the wrong approach to get to where we all want to be. Thank you.